Hi everyone, you're watching Questions You're Too Afraid to Ask a Trans Woman. I am your host, a 100% grade A real-life trans woman. We're here to answer questions that you might find too spicy or maybe you're a little nervous to ask, and I'm gonna go and try to give my perspective on them. A little bit about me: I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I'm 32 years old and I've been transitioning medically and socially just over 3 years now. How do you react to a trans person coming out to you? I think it depends on each individual. Everyone has different personalities on how they react, but one answer that I heard one time that made a lot of sense to me was bring the same energy to your reaction as the person who's coming out to you. So if the other person is excited and happy to share with you and just kind of almost wants to celebrate, match their energy, because to them it's very meaningful. They want to celebrate, they want to be happy. If they're very somber and they're very serious, match them there too, because that's where they're at emotionally, and to be able to meet them there, I think that's really how we relate with one another. For me, in my experience, the best reaction when I came out to people was a simple, "Oh my God, congratulations, I'm so happy for you," and just showing that they accept me and care for me. Some of the not so great reactions that I had to me coming out was telling me like, "Oh, it's nothing to worry about. It's not a big deal. No one really cares anymore." I understand why they're trying to say that. They're sort of just trying to not make a big deal out of it and trying to reassure me that it's going to be okay. But I just felt like it was really dismissive and really just shows that they really don't understand how big of a deal this is for a trans person. Maybe in their experience, in their upbringing, in their circle, it's not that big of a deal, but for most people, coming out as trans is still pretty taboo. They're pretty nervous about it. It's a pretty big deal. And even if you are surrounded by a very supportive environment of people who aren't judgmental and they do accept trans people, it could still internally be a really big decision for them. And it's a big life change in sort of how you view yourself and how you relate to the world. So, and I even have done this in the past with people who've come out to me where I thought I was being supportive by sort of saying like, whatever, who cares? And I really think now that I've come out as trans myself, I really regret reacting like that. I think I should have, as I said before, trying to meet them more where they're at and trying to meet the same energy that they had when they came out to me. Do you compare yourself to other women, to cis women, to trans women, to your partner? I absolutely do. Just like everyone else, I compare myself to other people, and it's just like everyone else, something I try to work on, right? I think though, as I've transitioned more, my standard has become less of trying to compare myself to cis women and seeing them as the standard of womanhood. I think that is rooted in transphobia, because I live in a transphobic society. I was raised to be transphobic, and so I have a lot of work to undo that. As for comparing myself to trans women, that's definitely also something I struggle with. I think with cis women, there could be a little bit of a distance where when I'm comparing myself to them, I'm sort of telling myself, well, they're cis, so I don't necessarily need to look like them or act like them or whatever it happens to be in the same place as my life as them, because I'm trans and so I'm different. But with trans women, since we have this similar background and experience, I often do compare myself in terms of my looks or where I'm at in life and things like that, because I'm sort of thinking, well, they're trans and I'm trans, and so the comparison is more apt, and I, need to be more this way like they are to be, better or be happier. But of course, like that's a trap. In terms of comparing myself to my partner, I don't compare myself to my partner as much. I think I have more of a deeper emotional connection where really I'm more concerned with thinking about her and caring for her rather than like looking at her and thinking like, what does she have that I don't? I have noticed that some people try to compare me and my partner, and she's a cis woman. In particular, sometimes comments about the looks, which both of us don't like because it sort of makes our relationship adversarial. And I really think that has to do with deeper rooted issues of women's standard of beauty and the patriarchal eye and how it sort of pits women against each other and this sort of stuff. The first and most common question I get is what surgeries I'm going to have, and typically they're trying to beat around the bush and ask me if I'm going to have genital confirmation surgery. I feel like there's some privilege that cis people have where they feel like they're entitled to this information about trans people. I don't think another cis person would ask another cis person one of the very first questions, especially if they're just getting to know them, what their genitals are. Really, the only people that need to know about your genitals are for medical reasons, like your medical team. So I think that when cis people ask me a question like this, it's really invasive and also sort of reflects on the simplicity of how they think about gender. And probably they themselves could benefit from reflecting on what gender really means to them. Well, that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Bye.